If you are hearing these words right now, know that it is not a coincidence. There is a reason why you are here, why these words reach your ears. Perhaps you went through moments of doubt, trials, or felt a void that nothing seemed to fill. And yet today, Allah sends you a message. You are called. Not randomly, not by mere coincidence, but because something within you needs to be realized. You were chosen to hear these words, to understand a profound truth. Your life has meaning far greater than you imagine. Stay with me, because today we're going to explore why you are called and how to respond to this divine reminder. 1. Nothing is a chance. Allah's perfect plan. There are moments in life when everything seems uncertain, when paths intertwine without apparent logic, and when the heart becomes heavy under the weight of doubt. We wonder why certain trials hit us, why certain doors close when we thought they should open. But behind this veil of uncertainty, behind each heartbeat that accelerates in the face of the unknown, there is a hand that guides, a wisdom that shapes, a light that illuminates even the deepest darkness. Nothing is a coincidence. Every breath you take, every look you exchange with an unknown soul, every step taken on this earth was written long before your existence took shape. Allah, in His infinite wisdom, has traced a path for you that even storms cannot erase. You may believe that certain events in your life are insignificant. A brief encounter, a slipped word, an unexpected delay. But if you could see the whole picture, if you could contemplate the invisible thread that rests at each moment, you would understand that everything has meaning. Destiny is not a labyrinth with no way out. It is a puzzle whose pieces fit together with perfect precision, even when we do not yet understand the final image. The illusion of chaos and the reality of the divine plan. We are often blinded by the present moment. When a challenge arises, our first instinct is to ask, why me? Why now? And yet, how many times have we looked back to realize that what we thought was a loss was actually a liberation, that what we saw as failure was actually protection? Imagine a traveler lost in the middle of a storm. The wind pushes him in a direction he didn't want to go. The rain blurs his vision and the cold bites his skin. He struggles, he cries injustice, until he reaches a shelter, a refuge that he would never have found if he had followed his own path. This is how Allah guides those He loves. Even detours are paths. Even the silences of Allah are answers. So, ask yourself this question. Look at your life. Wasn't there a moment when everything seemed to be falling apart, but in hindsight you understood that it was a rebuilding? Have you ever experienced a situation where you thought you were abandoned, but in truth it led you to something much greater? If today you feel uncertainty, if your heart is filled with doubts, remember this. It is not a coincidence that you hear these words. It's no coincidence that your soul is searching for answers. Allah is guiding you. He always did, even when you couldn't see Him. 2. Signs of a divine call. There are times in life when something within us changes. It's not a thunderous noise. It's not a sudden revelation that turns everything upside down in a second. Rather, it is an inner voice, a discreet but persistent echo which whispers to our soul. An inexplicable feeling, a silent call that urges us to search beyond what the eye can see and beyond what the heart can understand. What if this call came from Allah? 1. A suddenly deep attraction to the spiritual. There was a time when the noise of the world captivated you, when the daily hustle and bustle occupied your mind without giving you any respite. But one day, this noise seems dull and hollow to you. A new thirst is born in you. You feel the desire to understand the meaning of your existence, to get closer to something bigger than yourself. The Quran is no longer just a book, it is a light. You open its pages, and every word seems to have been written for you. Each verse touches a part of your soul that you didn't know was dormant. You want to learn, you want to understand, you want to get closer. This is not a simple curiosity. It is a call. 2. The trials that shape you. Look at the trials you've been through, the disappointments, the pain, the losses. Each of them seemed like a shadow stretching over your life. But have you ever noticed that after every night, dawn always ends up appearing? These tests are not a punishment. They are a divine workshop where your soul is sculpted, where your heart is polished, where your spirit is strengthened. Allah tests those He loves, not to break them, but to purify them. Every difficulty is a door, and behind this door lies a spiritual elevation that only patience can reveal. 3. An inner awareness. There comes a time when you feel a void, a feeling that something is missing from your life. You can have everything: success, people around you, pleasures. But nothing fills this hollow in your heart. This world is no longer enough. This feeling is not a coincidence. It's a signal. It's as if your soul knows that its origin is not here, that it belongs to another world, to a greater reality. Allah places in the hearts of His servants the desire to return to Him. If today you feel this lack, this deep yearning for something else, know that it is not a coincidence. 4. A detachment from materialism. Look around you. This world sells you illusions: money, success, appearance, recognition. But the day comes when these things seem insignificant to you. They no longer give you the same satisfaction as before. Passing pleasures are no longer enough to nourish your heart. So what do? You are looking. You want something authentic, true, eternal. This is one of the greatest signs that your soul is turning to its Creator. She refuses to be attached to what disappears. She wants to cling to what never dies. 5. Appeasement in prayer and dhikr. There is a refuge that nothing and no one can offer you except Allah. When you place your forehead on the ground, when you invoke, when you recite words of reminder, something within you calms down. As if for the first time your heart has finally found its true home. If prayer is no longer an obligation but a moment of calm, if your heart feels alive when you mention the name of Allah, then your soul is responding to His call. None of this is a coincidence. If you sense any of these signs, know that Allah is inviting you. He does not force you. He does not force, but He shows you the way. The question is, will you listen to this call? 3. How to answer this call. There is one thing greater than hearing the divine call. Answer it. Feeling this calling is a privilege, but it is in action that true awakening lies. For when your heart perceives a sign, when your soul begins to vibrate listening to the reminder of Allah, it is not the result of chance, but a direct invitation to draw closer to Him. But then, how to answer? How can you ensure that this call is not just a passing emotion, but a real turning point in your life? Strengthen your relationship with Allah. Imagine a relationship between two people who love each other deeply. How does it strengthen itself? Through proximity, through trust, through consistency. Your relationship with Allah is no exception. Establish prayer with sincerity and regularity. Prayer is not an empty ritual. It is an intimate conversation between you and your Creator. This is the moment when you place your soul before Him, without mask, without pretense. When you pray, do not do it out of habit, but with conscience. Feel each word, each movement, like a door opening to serenity. Immerse yourself in the Quran. This is not a book like any other. Each verse is a key, each word a light. When you feel this calling within you, don't let it go out. Feed Him with the divine word. Meditate, recite, absorb its teachings. Make your du'as a sincere dialogue. Allah, listen. He hears every whisper of your heart, every breath you hold in your moments of doubt. Talk to Him as a friend. Confide to Him your pain, your hopes, your regrets. It's closer to you than your own jugular vein. Be a source of good around you. Responding to Allah's call does not just mean isolating yourself in prayer. Faith is not limited to words. It is manifested in actions. Help others without expecting anything in return. The true believer is the one whose presence soothes, whose hands relieve, whose words inspire. Do not seek the recognition of men. Seek the satisfaction of Allah. Be an example of patience and kindness. In a world where everything pushes towards sustainability, be that person who embodies gentleness. When you are blessed, forgive. When a door is closed to you, leave the door to your heart open. It is those who spread the light who end up enlightening others. Make your presence a blessing. May your time in people's lives leave a positive imprint. A kind word, a smile, an outstretched hand, Sometimes it's the simplest gestures that open the biggest doors to the afterlife. Developing your faith through knowledge. Ignorance is a veil that prevents the light of faith from shining fully. Allah does not only call your heart, it also calls your spirit to rise. Learn and understand your religion with sincerity. Don't just follow blindly. Seeks to understand. Questions goes deeper. A faith based on knowledge is a faith that weathers storms. Listen to teachings that nourish your soul. Surround yourself with words that elevate, with examples that inspire. Hearts are often awakened by contact with wisdom. Deepen your understanding of destiny and divine wisdom. Everything that happens has a reason. The more you understand this reality, the more peace your heart will find. Accept trials as blessings in disguise. Some perceive trials as burdens, others like bridges to elevation. It all depends on how you choose to see them. Every difficulty is an opportunity for purification and elevation. Nothing is left to chance. Every tear you shed, every moment your heart aches, every night sleep eludes you. Allah sees them. He never tests you without reason. Ayub's story teaches us the power of patience. He lost everything, his property, his health, his family, yet he never lost his faith. And when Allah saw the sincerity of his heart, He fulfilled him beyond his expectations. Do not fear trials. They are not there to break you, but to reveal the strength you carry within you. You have heard the call. Will you answer it? Allah is calling you, and it is no coincidence that you feel this desire for change. But this call is not enough. We must act, because between here and answer there is a decision to be made. Are you going to let this call pass as just a passing thrill, or are you going to open your heart and walk towards the one who only awaits your return? The dilemma. Accept or ignore this call. There is a time in every soul's life when a choice presents itself. A silent moment, almost imperceptible, but whose impact resonates into eternity. Allah called you. He left a feeling in your heart that you can no longer ignore. But now one question remains. Will you answer this call or let it go out like a flame deprived of oxygen? You have a choice. Allah, in His infinite wisdom, never force a heart to take a path. He opens doors, He sends signs, but it gives everyone the freedom to choose. However, ignoring a divine call is not without consequences. The illusion of time. I'll reply later. How many have felt this spiritual impulse but have whispered to their soul, later, not now? How many have seen signs, been certain that Allah has called them, but have chosen to postpone their response until tomorrow? More, who guarantees us a tomorrow? Who can say with certainty that He will have another opportunity, another reminder, another opportunity to say yes to this call? The enemy of the soul does not try to prevent you from responding immediately. He says that a believer can recognize a divine calling. He's not trying to convince you to reject this call. He just wants you to delay Him, that you say to yourself, I'll see later when I'm ready. But the truth is that the moment you feel this call is the moment you are ready. If Allah sends it to you now, then now is the perfect time. The moment when your soul needs this return. Allah's unique offering, a call that can be conveyed to another. There is a verse that makes those who understand its significance tremble. If you turn away, He will replace your people with another, and they will not be like you. Surah Muhammad 47:38. Herein lies one of the most powerful realities of the divine call. If you don't take responsibility for this reminder, it will be given to someone else. Great souls are not those who wait, but those who get up. If Allah chose you, it is for a reason. If you refuse this mission, others will come and take it. Nothing will change the divine plan. The only question is, do you want to be part of this plan, or watch it unfold without you? The unique opportunity to change your destiny. Every human being, at some point in their life, receives a moment of change. A moment when just one decision can change everything. If you choose to answer this call, your life will never be the same again. An invisible force will guide your steps. A peace you have never known will fill your heart. Deep meaning will emerge in every moment. But if you turn your back on that call, it may never come back the same way. This choice is in your hands. Today. Now. If you've made it this far, it's no accident. Allah has guided you to these words because He wants you to understand that you are special. So what will you do now? Will you ignore this reminder and return to your old life? Or will you take this call seriously and draw closer to Allah? If these words resonated with you, share them. Maybe a loved one needs this reminder today too. Maybe this simple action will be the start of a profound spiritual change for someone else. May Allah guide you, protect you, and elevate you among His beloved ones.